Hello everybody, and today I will be showing you a Civil War board game that I made 2 years ago for a social studies project. So here is the board, as you can see. So you start and end, and then there's a bunch of different little drawings on a lot of these little markings and some pictures like that. And so let's get started. So here are the rules. Just get it out here. It's in a little scroll type thing. It's pretty cool. So, battle plan. This is a two-player game with two warring sides, the Union and the Confederacy. Each starts off with 100,000 soldiers. The goal of the game is to have the most soldiers after marching around the board 5 times. It is therefore very important to keep careful records of all your troops every time you move. Please use a ledger to subtract all casualties and add your recruits to your total. To begin the game, each player must roll the dice. Whoever gets the higher number goes first. Move once every time it's your turn. When you land on a symbol, this means draw a card. This means battle with your opponent by rolling dice. The player with the lower number loses 50 soldiers. And then this symbol is battle with your opponent by rolling dice. The player with the lower number loses 100 soldiers. And then there's this, battle with your opponent by rolling dice. The player with the higher number gains 50 soldiers. And then, sort of hard to work with here, but next page. This symbol is battle with your opponent by rolling dice. The player with the higher number gains 100 soldiers. And then there's this symbol, battle with your opponent by rolling dice. Whoever loses 75 soldiers. Whoever wins gains 50 soldiers. Drawing cards. There are 3 piles of cards, which I will show you in a second. One's with nothing on the back, one's with a blue U, and one's with a gray C. Cards with blank backs can be drawn by either side. Cards with a blue U can only be drawn by the Union side, and cards with a gray C can only be drawn by the Confederate side. Once you've used the card, put it into a blank U or C discard pile. When you run out of fresh cards, recycle the pile by shuffling and reusing. Victory. After both players have marched around the board 5 times, the player with the fewest soldiers must surrender to the player with the most soldiers, who declares victory. Note, if either player should run out of soldiers before completing 5 tours around the board, that player must surrender immediately and the other player wins. And then one more page. Historical note. This game has been created with America's Civil War as its inspiration. Historically, the outcome of this life-changing war was determined on April 19, 1865, when General Lee's Confederate troops surrendered to the Union forces at Appomattox Courthouse. However, in order to make this game both competitive and fun, here each side has a new and equal chance of winning. For example, in reality, the Union Army had about 2 million soldiers, while Confederate forces numbered from 750,000 to 1 million. But in this game, both sides begin evenly with 100,000 soldiers. Likewise, battles already long won and lost may have different outcomes with each time they are reenacted here. And I will show you basically how to play. Okay, so here are the cards. Now, here are the blank backs. Put those in the middle. And then there are blue U's and the gray C's. There's not a lot of room in the middle of this board here. Actually, hold on. If this goes here, then that could fit there and that could fit there. There we go. So, now basically here are the pieces. There's a gray one and a blue one. They're supposed to sort of fold out like that, but then it doesn't really work. So you both start right here, slightly off to the side, right next to the start. And then there are 2 different types of dice. There are the gray ones and the blue ones. So the blue ones are sort of hard to tell, but they're blue. just trust me. So basically, you both roll. And so blue has 3 and gray has 5. So That means the Confederates go first. And so what they do is they roll, and they just rolled a 6. So they'd move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lands on that green symbol there. So what that means is both of you have to roll, and the Confederate rolled a 5, and the Union rolled a 6. So that means the Union gained gained 50 soldiers, and the Confederates lost 75. So, and then the Union would go by rolling dice, and they just got an 8. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they landed on that orange sort of symbol. So both roll, and where's that last dice? Here it is. So Union just rolled a 6, and the Confederates just rolled a 4. So the Confederates just lost 50 soldiers. So basically that's how you keep playing. If you don't land on anything like this, then nothing happens. It's just the next player's turn. And so like here are the symbols. There's that symbol, and so basically they're all the symbols just spread around along here. And so now time to show you what some of the cards say. So basically, as you heard in the instructions, they are split up into 4 groups, and they are already shuffled. So here are the C's. The 7 Days Battle. Lose 5,000 soldiers. New recruits gain 100 soldiers. New recruits gain 200 soldiers. And new recruits gain 300 soldiers. So these are all basically good things except for one, and that one is actually a pretty heavy loss. And basically it's the same for this. Runaway slaves gain 300 soldiers. Runaway slaves gain 100 soldiers. Runaway slaves gain 200 soldiers. And Battle of Fredericksburg, lose 5,000 soldiers. So they're all the same, just different titles. And now for the ones that either could draw. So this is the largest stack. It has a bunch of cards. And there is diseases in this, which I will explain here too. And most of this is actually historically accurate, not the amount of casualties, but basically the amount versus how much you were originally started with. So they're bumped down a lot, and also the severity of the diseases. So measles, lose 75 soldiers per move. So you do not discard this one when you get it. You want to just put it near you, and every time you move, so you take your piece, and so you roll. Let's say you rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You lose 75. Let's say you roll again. You roll a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would lose 75, and then do the battle dice thing for whoever gains 100 soldiers. So, and there is a way to get rid of this, which is right here. Disease stops spreading. Stop disease. Or new recruits gain 1,000 soldiers. So this is only good for one disease. So if you have measles, then you could stop measles, or you could if you don't have any diseases, then you would just gain 1,000 soldiers, which is the best option. Tuberculosis, lose 100 soldiers per move. So that's slightly worse. Pneumonia, lose 175 soldiers per move. Even worse. Battle of Fort Pillow, lose 700 soldiers. Typhoid, lose 250 soldiers per move. So that's pretty high. Another disease stops spreading, or new recruits gain 50 soldiers, so slightly less. The Battle of Wilderness, lose 4,500 soldiers. So that's pretty large battle. Dysentery, lose 275 soldiers per move. So this was one of the biggest killers per the during the Civil War. The Battle of Chickamauga. Sorry if I'm not getting these names correctly. Lose 1,500 soldiers. And then we have the Battle of Stones River. Lose 5,000 soldiers. Battle of Antietam. Lose 3,000 soldiers. And then another disease stops spreading. Stop disease, or new recruits gain 350 soldiers. Then there's the Battle of Gettysburg. Lose 6,000 soldiers. So pretty heavy loss there. And this is only to whoever picks up the card. So this isn't for both sides or anything. Battle of Fort Henry. Lose 50 soldiers. So that was not a lot of casualties. Battle of Fisher's Hill. Lose 500 soldiers. And then we are back to measles. Lose 75 soldiers per move. So that is basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video about the Civil War board game that I made a couple years ago. So here's another look at it, sort of farther up. And hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.